call this meeting of the Township High School District 211 Board of Education to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barron?
Here.
Ms. Cabell?
Here.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Here.
Mrs. Lopez?
Here.
Ms. Russell?
Here.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Here.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Here. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is closed session. The recommended action is that the board enter closed session to discuss minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the Open Meetings Act and appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. May I have a roll call? Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Aye. The motion passes. board is ready to return to open session. Is there a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Barron,
Aye.
Ms. Cabell,
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski,
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez,
Aye.
Ms. Russell,
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke,
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum.
Aye. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. So thank you and welcome to tonight's board meeting. Next on our agenda is recognitions. Dr. Small?
Thank you. Director of Athletics and Activities, Mr. Eric Winkowski, please come forward so we can meet these wonderful coaches and athletes that we have here tonight.
Board of Education and Dr. Small, thank you for taking some time tonight to recognize some really talented athletes, including several individual state champions. Students, as your sponsor introduces you, please walk forward, receive your award from your principal, and stand next to the podium. Additionally, I'm going to ask that any family members that are here tonight to please stand and be recognized when your athlete is introduced. Helping me present students tonight are Palatine Principal Tony Medina and Athletic Director Luis Arroyo, Friend High School Principal Mark Langer and Athletic Director Hamid Mariaskoui, Conant Principal Julie Novak and Athletic Director Eric Hauser, and Schaumburg Athletic Director Marty Manning. All right, so we'll get started with Conant Boys Gymnastics. Conant's Boys Gymnastics coach Paul Kim is currently out of the country and unable to attend tonight's meeting. So his assistant coach, John Scallion, will introduce the Conant gymnast. John?
Hi, I'm John Scallon. I'm here to introduce something really special. So a lot of gymnasts who make it at the state level do it their whole lives, are club gymnasts. But we have someone very special. Sanket Vyas, he was not a club gymnast, actually. He started when he was a freshman, and one of his first scores was a 3.3. And then his sophomore year, he made it to state and went 7.3. And then his junior year, he went 7th in the state with 8.7. And then this final year, Sanket achieved a dream of being a state champion with a 9.65. So, very impressive, very impressive. And he is here today with his family, the Vyases. And then this coming fall, he'll be attending The Ohio State University, and he'll be majoring in electrical and computer engineering. Thank you.
All right. Martell Halloran is a member of the English department at Conant High School and has coached track and field at many levels over the last 19 years. For the last 3 years, Martell has been the head boys track and field coach at Palatine High School. And Martell is a proud District 211 graduate. Martell.
All right. I was happily here last year, and I'm here again. And I'm here again because of the same two wonderful young men. One who could be here, Alex Krieg. And one who could not be here tonight, Carter Hayes. But I talked about these two as a tandem last year, and I will again, actually, because their story very much is entwined. Alex here, we're so lucky that he will be back again at Palatine High School as a senior next year. Alex has qualified for the state meet for track and field all 3 years, hopefully a fourth next year, for distance. He has had a great impact so far on our program. In fact, with his teammates, he was voted outstanding freshman his freshman year, outstanding sophomore, and this year he won outstanding junior. So he not only has great times, but also makes great impacts on the track. As far as his performances, the medal that he has right now is for the 3,200 meter run, the 2 mile. Alex has the fastest time in the 3,200 meter for juniors all time, and overall then, with everyone considered, it's number 4 all time. Now, that would be a surprise because last year, Alex actually had the number 3 time, but that's what happens when you run with also one of the fastest guys in the state, Carter Hayes. He usurped him. Carter is now the 3,200 meter record holder. So that actually, despite Alex getting faster, that pushed him down to 4th. Alex is looking to get some, to get some more distance on that all-time list next year, and hopefully do something really, really special. Alex, his 2 mile time was 9:02:41. Carter Hayes dipped under 9 minutes for the 2 mile with 8:59. But both are remarkable guys who have trained endlessly for these goals. They customize their diet. They go to bed, on time. They do the little things. They cheer on their teammates. Last year, at least when I talked to Alex, I don't know if he still has a consecutive days running going, but last year he was at 970. What is it? 1327 days consecutive running. Not one day off, and that's how you get here. That's the only way to do it, to get as high as these boys have done, to even look ahead and to expect great things. Great things need to go into the pot. Stew doesn't just become great just because you snap your fingers and it's ready to be served. It goes in with all the ingredients, all the preparation, everything like that, and Alex knows how to do it. We are so excited to have him back next year. Thank you for representing Palatine Track and Field.
All right. Thank you, Martel. Jeff Williams, who is the head boys track and field coach at Fremd High School, is unable to attend tonight's meeting, but Fremd Athletic Director Hamid Mariaski will introduce his athletes, and Hamid is a proud District 211 graduate.
That's a tough one to follow. On behalf of Coach Williams, I would like to thank the Board of Education and Dr. Small for this opportunity. It's always wonderful when we get to share the amazing things that our student athletes are doing. Tonight, we're proud to recognize 3 exceptional athletes who made history for Fremd Boys Track and Field at the 2025 IHSA State Championships. First up, Jack Jennings. Jack is a rising star across the state as a sophomore. He placed 7th in the 3,200 meters, showing up with grit, heart, and consistency. As a sophomore heading into his junior year, we're really excited, and the future of distance running at Fremd is incredibly bright. Thank you, Jack. Next up, senior Oluwadamilare Hassan. He soared to 9th place in the triple jump at state. Along the way, he set a new school record of 48 feet and 2 inches. His explosive talent set a new benchmark for Fremd jumpers. Congratulations. Finally, not present here tonight, senior Rory Gahn. Rory placed 3rd in the 3,200 meters at state, but even more remarkably, he now holds 2 school records. He ran the 1,600 meters in 4 minutes, 11 seconds, and 43 seconds, and the 3,200 meters in under 9 minutes at 8:59:64. These are not just great times, they have secured Rory's place in Viking history. These young men are competitors, record breakers, and leaders. They have left a legacy at Fremd High School that we are very proud of. Thank you for the memories and a season we will never forget. Congratulations.
All right. Schaumburg's head boys and track and field coach Ryan Seneca is also unable to attend tonight. In his place, Athletic Director Marty Manning will introduce Schaumburg High School's track athlete, and Marty is also a proud District 211 graduate.
Thank you, Board of Education and Dr. Small. My pleasure to recognize Schaumburg High School student athlete Ray Black, who's here with his dad, Alan. Ray just finished his junior year at Schaumburg High School and is one of the best student athletes we have at our school. In the fall, he was our starting quarterback for the football team, and in the winter, he was a starter on our boys basketball team. However, we are recognizing Ray tonight for his exploits on our boys track team. Ray was the IHSA sectional champion in both the 110 high hurdles and the 300 intermediate hurdles. He qualified for state in both events and ended up earning a 9th place medal in the 300 hurdles, while also setting a new school record with a time of 38.86 seconds. I believe that record was over 30 years old. We look forward to Ray's senior year, where I have no doubt that he will continue to impress us with his athletic accomplishments. Thank you, Ray.
All right, on the girls' track and field, Kevin Conway. Kevin Conway is a special education teacher assistant at Palatine High School. He has coached both cross-country and girls' track and field program at Palatine High School for the last 10 years. This is his 3rd year as the head coach. Kevin, come on forward.
Thank you to the board, Dr. Small, our athletic director, Mr. Arroyo, and Principal Medina. I'm here on behalf of Aisha Kazim with her father, Siraj Kazim. It is difficult to sum up a career like Aisha's in 1 minute. We can, of course, summarize her achievements. This year, she qualified for the state meet in 4 individual events: the 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, 200 meters, and the long jump. She qualified for the finals in 3 of those events and finished 7th in the long jump, 5th in the 100-meter hurdles, and repeated as the state champion in the 300-meter hurdles. In her career, Aisha was a 7-time All-State/State medalist, which in the 300-meter hurdles alone includes a 2nd-place finish her sophomore year, a state title her junior year, and the most difficult, repeating as a state champion this year. The ladies track and field team at Palatine is one of the winningest programs in our school's history. To break any record is an incredible achievement. Aisha's name is all over the place. Fresh, soft school records held are the 55-meter and 60-meter hurdles, 100-meter hurdles, and the 300-meter hurdles. The varsity school records held include the indoor 400-meter relay split, indoor and outdoor 200 meters, indoor and outdoor long jump, the 4x1, 100 meters, 100-meter hurdles, and the 300-meter hurdles. She now owns that record board. With all of these accomplishments, the biggest thing Aisha is known for is the incredible teammate she was throughout all 4 years. She always wanted to share her accomplishments with her teammates. I always tell the story of Aisha by including the selfless statement: Aisha could qualify in any track event of her choosing. When asked what events she wanted to concentrate on, she always responded, "How can I get more of my teammates downstate?" Even her senior year, when we were concentrating on 4 individual events, she said before the 200 meters, "If it comes down to myself or my teammate at the line, I want my teammate to qualify." These examples tell the story of Aisha Kazim better than any record board can. Aisha's story may be written at Palatine, but she still has so much more to look forward to in her career. She's now off to DePaul to continue her success in athletics as well as the classroom. We at Palatine cannot wait to see you on the track again. Maybe not in scarlet and gray this time, but carrying the same smile and swagger we all know for the Blue Demons. Thank you, Aisha, for an incredible 4 years.
All right. Conant head track and field coach Aaron Essex is unable to attend tonight's meeting. In his place, assistant coach Callie Dalton will introduce Conant's track athlete tonight. And Callie is a proud District 211 graduate.
Good evening. Thank you to the board and Dr. Small for giving us the opportunity to recognize all of our amazing student athletes. It is my pleasure to introduce Daisha Brunson, a truly exceptional student athlete who embodies the values and dedication of excellence and servant. Today with her mom, grandma, and aunt. In the classroom, Daisha sets a high standard. She consistently produces high-quality work, maintains outstanding grades across the board, and approaches her academics the same discipline that she does her athletics. She is a proud and active member of our National Honor Society. Outside of her busy academic and athletic schedule, Daisha still finds time to give back. This spring, she chose to spend one of her rare free Saturdays volunteering at the Special Olympics track and field meet. Just one example of her generous spirit and commitment to others. On the track, Daisha had a historic season. She set new Conant High School records in the 100 and 200 meter dash, and she reset her own school record in the 100 meter high hurdles. She qualified for state in all three of those events, earning all-state honors in the 200 with a 4th place finish. A 100, she finished 5th place, which immediately follows her 100 meter hurdle race. That is probably most impressively, Daisha won for the 3rd year in a row in the 100 meter high hurdles. Daisha is not only a fierce competitor, but she also is a humble leader and incredible teammate. She represents the best of our school, and we are incredibly proud and honor her tonight. We are exceptionally honored that we have her one more year to represent Conant. Thank you.
All right, on to the tennis court. Matt Marks has taught in the Biz Education Department at Conant High School for the last decade. Matt has been both the boys and girls tennis coach, head girls tennis coach for 11 years, and serving as the boys tennis coach for the past, head coach for the last 5 years. And Matt is also a proud District 211 graduate. Matt.
Good evening. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Small, Mr. Winkowski, our principal, Mrs. Novak, our athletic director, Mr. Hauser, and the entire Board of Education for the opportunity to speak here tonight, and for your unwavering support of our students and athletic programs. It is to my great privilege to recognize the Conant High School boys tennis team, who made history this season with an extraordinary performance. Out of approximately 160 teams in the Illinois Class 2A division, our team finished 2nd overall at the IHSA state tournament, marking the best finish in school history and earning Conant's first ever state trophy in boys tennis. This historic achievement would not have been possible without the hard work, dedication, and unity of an incredible group of student athletes. First, I'd like to recognize freshman Carter Strilich, here with his family. Next, I would like to recognize the sophomore duo of Haruki Watanabe and Nathan Desai, one of our doubles teams who advanced to the top 16 in state. Our next sophomore doubles team consists of Austin Wu and Maximus Risch. This sophomore doubles team earned an impressive 5th place overall finish at the IHSA state tournament. And finally, I would like to recognize sophomore Kabir Matwani. Kabir battled through 5 straight victories in singles to finish as the IHSA Class 2A state runner-up this past season. It has truly been an honor to coach this exceptional group of young men. They have demonstrated not only athletic excellence, but also strong academic commitment and exemplary sportsmanship. As a team made up of entirely underclassmen, they are already motivated to build on this historic season and pursue a state title in the years ahead. Thank you for recognizing their achievement and for continuing to support the growth and success of our student athletes.
Okay, and on to our final group, which seems to be here just about every year, is the Friend Badminton team. Head coach Bob Hansen is unable to attend tonight's meeting, and in his place is new assistant coach Jeff Keski to introduce the athletes from Friend High School. Jeff.
Thank you, Dr. Small, for having us. Board of Education, thank you guys. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Langer, our principal at Friend, and our athletic director, Hamid Marioski, coming all the way to DeKalb to support the girls in our team at the state tournament. As we know, the badminton program here at Friend is a historic program. We won our 23rd consecutive sectional championship this year and our 8th consecutive state trophy. A few of the girls couldn't be here this year, or tonight. A couple of those girls that I want to talk about is senior Samantha Yee and her partner Sophie Zhao. They finished 4th in doubles. And then junior Yi Long Lee finished 6th in singles. We do have 3 players here tonight that I'd like to talk about. First, Sophia Lin. Come on up. Sophomore Sophia Lin finished 4th at the state tournament for the 2nd consecutive year and an outstanding season. Juniors, Catherine Quinn and Ria Malagretti. Come on up. Juniors, first-time starters in the program, stepped up really big at the state tournament for us and finished 5th in doubles. They were a huge part. All 3 of these girls and the 3 girls that are missing tonight were a huge part of our success this year. Although we finished 3rd in the state tournament, all 6 of our players were all state. The top 2 teams did not have all 6 players doing that, so it really shows you that we have a good depth in our program. I just want to say thanks to all the players from the program, the managers, the families that came to support us all year long, and these awesome girls for being here tonight. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Great. Well, on behalf of the district and the Board of Education, I want to congratulate all of our student athletes who have done outstanding both locally, regionally, and at the state level. And for those of you who are moving on past 211, I wish you all the very best. I also want to take a moment to thank you, the parents and family members, for your sacrifices and hard work in making sure that your students are at practice and at meets and at tournaments and are eating right, maybe, and going to bed when they should, and also being so academically achieving as well. So congratulations to you all. And I just want to also take a moment to thank the coaches and the assistant coaches and the managers. My daughter this year is a coach as well, so I know the hard work that goes into helping these student athletes be the best that they can be in whatever sport that they're in. So thank you all so very much. We are going to take, we're going to take a minute? Sure. We're going to take a short break for, I know many of our athletes have already taken photos, and that's great, but we still have 1 or 2 yet to be done. So if you have not yet had your photo taken, if you could please proceed over to this area here to my right, your left, for that. Otherwise, after this, we are going to move into public comments and then board business. You are more than welcome to stay if you would like, or if you have other places to be. We thank you very much again for your coming this evening. important hardware, okay. So next on our agenda is public comments. The board welcomes you and is pleased to listen to your comments this evening. It's important that you know that this is a public board meeting and not a dialogue, so the board members will not be responding to your comments or answering questions at this time. As a reminder, the board meeting is being taped and live streamed, and we ask that you value the procedures and decorum of our meeting and be respectful of those at the podium so that they may be heard. When I call your name, please come forward to the podium and state your name for the record. Though not required, you may state that you are a resident of the district. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. You will receive a notification when you have 1 minute remaining. Any individual's unused time or place in order may not be deferred to another individual. If you wish a response from the superintendent, please leave your name and phone number with Mr. Teneper at the end of the table. So we have one person who has signed up for public comments this evening. So if Mr. Lee Bennett could please approach the podium. Thank you.
I'll keep the time here. It's fine. Hello, Dr. Small, Mr. Schumacher, board, staff, and community. I'm Lee Bennett, a district resident. First, a big thank you to all the district staff at Hoffman Estates who hosted the boys volleyball state championship last weekend. The event was well run, even in the opinion of someone better known for complaining. At the beginning of the school year, I presented an analysis of student interest and participation in sports. It indicated that interest in boys volleyball warranted another sub-varsity team. In my exchanges with the administration since our last meeting, I was told that the numbers being tracked do not indicate that another boys team could be sustained. I adamantly disagreed and asked what numbers are being tracked. The district's response: the number of students that show up and try out for a sport. I can understand being somewhat dismissive of survey data. However, the response overlooks previous analysis of participation data, which shows boys filling up the volleyball teams to a greater extent than other sports. So let's look at the tryout data. Oh wait, some coaches did not create and/or retain records containing this information, so no such records have yet been provided. Given the chaos of tryouts for popular cut sports, I don't fault coaches for failing to capture this data, but this metric cannot be tracked if the data isn't being collected. There is another well-structured data source which involves actually showing up and putting in the work needed to make an interscholastic sports team. Summer sports camps can't be required, but are highly recommended if you wish to make the team. This summer camp participation might even be a better metric than tryout data, as tryouts depend on the number of teams available. The provided spreadsheet compares camp participation over the last 4 years to roster space for MSL competition. The sports are sorted by the ratio of teams' worth of summer participants divided by teams of competition. A difficulty in making this analysis is determining the team size for each sport, particularly a max size. Capping the size of interscholastic teams is the controversy which delayed the recent approved NCAA settlement with their athletes. I've picked a midpoint between a team's natural minimum and maximum size, but a bit of sensitivity analysis indicates the ordering of these sports wouldn't change significantly if other reasonable metrics for roster size are used. With that caveat completed, let's turn to the sheet to see how the sports rank in this metric. Boys volleyball currently has the third highest participation rate behind only boys basketball and girls volleyball, which both already have the maximum 5 teams. If a 4th team were added for boys volleyball, it would fall to 4th place, getting passed by boys soccer, which also has the maximum of 5 teams. Boys volleyball has more students participating than girls basketball, which also has the maximum of 5 teams and a similar roster size. We can see that more boys participate in baseball, but since baseball needs a roster nearly twice as large, this team-based participation rate is higher for volleyball, even if both sports offered 4 teams. This summer participation metric may favor baseball, as the weather is more conducive for the outdoor sport during the summer.
You have 1 minute remaining.
The cold, wet weather makes baseball's outdoor tryouts less appealing in early spring. In the summer, many volleyball players prefer outdoor sand courts over being in the gym. Having tracked the available metrics, I see four boys volleyball teams as more sustainable than all sports with less than the maximum 5 teams. Who in the district can show numbers that lead to the opposite conclusion? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. I have a request to remove an item from the consent agenda, and that is item 7G. Are there any other requests to remove items from the consent agenda before a motion is made? All right, hearing none, the recommended action is to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 7G as presented. May I have a motion, please?
Moved. Second.
Are there any other comments or discussions? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Aye. The motion carries. Next is that item 7G, resolutions authorizing intervention in proceedings before the State Property Tax Appeal Board on the consent agenda be approved as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
No.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Aye. The motion carries. Next on the agenda is Freedom of Information Act requests. This is an information item. Any questions? Okay. Next on the agenda is the 2025-2026 tentative budget, Illinois Municipal Retirement Social Security and Working Cash Funds. This is an information item. Are there any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. President, I have a question regarding the line items for revenue. It's showing a $100,000 negative. Do we pay local property taxes? Do we owe money to local taxpayers? Could we please get a clarification on that negative amount in the revenue?
Yes, for the working cash fund, the deficit there for local property taxes is due to tax refunds that are paid against prior years. We are not levying currently into the working cash fund, but that is just a loss of revenue from prior year levies that will be netted into that fund.
Any other questions, Mr. Dombrowski?
No.
Okay, Dr. Small?
If I may, as a reminder, at the February Board of Education meeting, the board was presented a financial calendar that included the entire budget and levy process. Budget information is presented to the board every month from June through September, and the levy sequence begins September and ends in December. Over the next several months, the business office will be preparing the full 25-26 annual budget. Tentative budgets will be shared by fund with the board beginning tonight with a tentative budget that you see before you. It is anticipated that the Transportation Fund will be on the July board agenda, and the O&M Fund and Educational Fund will be presented as a tentative budget as a whole at the August board meeting. At the August board meeting, the board takes action for public inspection for the budget for 30 days prior to its adoption at the September meeting. The budget must be adopted by September 30th of each year.
Thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda is graduation dates for the class of 2026. This is an information item, and I would like to encourage anyone here in our audience or watching this via live streamed or recording to, if you have a senior, pay attention because this will tell you when graduations are going to be happening for the upcoming senior class. So you might want to mark your calendars. Okay. Next on the agenda is unfinished business. We have no unfinished business this evening, so we will move on to new business. The next item is professional learning, creative culture consulting. The recommended motion is that the Board of Education approve an agreement with Creative Culture Consulting to provide up to 4 days of summer consultation in preparation for the 2025-2026 school year, and up to 42 days of classroom-based coaching across the district's 136 co-taught course sections at a total cost of $167,900. This initiative will be funded through the professional development allocation of the IDEA grant. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Dr. Small?
Creative Culture Consulting will provide summer professional development learning opportunities designed to assist our co-teaching pairs in developing curriculum and collaboratively planning instruction to meet the diverse needs of our students. Ongoing classroom visits and coaching throughout the school year will offer individualized support to our co-teaching pairs, enabling them to reflect on and problem-solve challenges related to instructional delivery, classroom management, and equitable access to our rigorous coursework. In addition to direct support for professional development of the co-teachers, coaching will also be extended to our district instructional coaches and district technology coordinators to ensure continuity and sustainability of effective co-teaching practices during the consulting period.
Are there any questions or other discussion? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Cavill,
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez,
Aye.
Ms. Barron,
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke,
Aye.
Ms. Russell,
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski,
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum.
Aye. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is that the recommended action that the Board of Education accept the annual review of safety plans, protocols, procedures, and school safety drills report, and authorize the superintendent or designee to complete and submit the required paperwork for the annual drill reviews and threat assessment records to the Regional Office of Education or other offices as designated. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Dr. Small?
Annually, District 211 submits a report to the Regional Office of Education reflecting the drills conducted. Local emergency response unit, including the local police and fire departments, are invited to contribute to this yearly review. Representatives from both the fire and police departments from each village serving the district were closely involved with district personnel in the development of the response plan. The district continues to benefit from a very collaborative, cooperative, and effective relationship with our local police and fire departments.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments or questions?
Yeah, I'll take one over here.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Yeah, thanks. This is the one thing that, in my mind, and I don't think anyone can disagree, is the most important aspect in a school and in a district is the safety of our students and staff. Second to none, and I appreciate everyone that's involved with this on a continuing basis, because it is a continuous thing. You evaluate and you look at something that can be improved, and then you do it. And from what I've seen, that's what we continue to do, and we see an issue and we improve it.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, may I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Aye. Next on the agenda is North Cook Intermediate Service, the motion carries. Next on the agenda is North Cook Intermediate Service Center and Regional Office of Education intergovernmental agreements for 2025 to 2026. The recommended action is that the Board of Education approve the North Cook Intermediate Service Center intergovernmental agreements as presented for the 2025-2026 academic year. Further, that the superintendent or designee be authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the Board of Education. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Dr. Small?
Before I begin, if you look at the agenda item, for those of you that are new to the board, our Regional Office of Education is called the North Cook Intermediate Service Center. So you will sometimes see NCISC and you'll sometimes see ROE. They are the same building, the same people involved. District 211 has partnered with the North Cook Intermediate Service Center and our Regional Office of Education for many years to support students in a variety of capacities. Tonight, there are 3 as-needed alternative school programs presented. Each one is designed to meet the specific needs of students who are not finding success in their home school. The agreements for these 3 programs gives District 211 the ability to use the program if needed for the upcoming school, but does not require any participation. NCISC also provides an on-site student advocacy alternative learning program, which assists our at-risk students directly within their home schools. NCISC student advocacy staff are embedded within our schools to support students and offer expanded resources within each school, focusing on students with poor attendance, behavioral referrals, and/or poor academic performance. 2 student advocates are assigned by NCISC to each school who work closely with staff, parents, and students to create and support student success plans specific to the needs of the students who are involved. For the upcoming school year, NCISC staff is available to work with all 5 of our schools at no cost to the district.
Thank you. One thing I want to point out is one thing that our district does very, very well is make sure that we have in place whatever tools and resources are necessary to make sure that our students are, number 1, safe, and number 2, meeting the educational goals and mission of the school district. And there are times when our main schools, for whatever reason, are challenged in meeting those needs of some of our students. So to have the right system and resources in place to help us make those adjustments and still provide the proper educational environment for those students is something that we do, and we do very, very well as needed. And this arrangement and relationship is just one of the many ways that we're able to do that.
Dr. Small, I just have a couple of questions. If you don't have answers, I should have brought these up before, but they didn't occur to me until now. Does this work like NSSEO in that we have priority admission because we're part of the service center? Like NSSEO, we are a member district,
Correct.
so we get first place. Does this work the same way?
It does, because we are within the region, the North Cook region.
Okay. Are these places open to anyone across the I know that placements such as these are at a premium, and so are these placements open to anyone statewide, for example?
Some of these are connected with DuPage County.
Okay.
So it's a combination service.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Mr. President, quick question. Dr. Small, you said no cost to the district, but on pages 21 and 22, there is a cost, right, for the advocates that we split with the ROE? Regional Office Education?
Page 21 and 22.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe we have to pay that this year. Mr. Hildebrand, can you confirm that?
So the program, at the onset of the program for the first year, for each school, there was costs associated with that. Once that cost, or once that year has closed out, that cost is wiped out, and the cost is covered by ROE. So the way we implemented is we started off with 2 schools initially, and then a second school came online, and then the 2 other schools came online at the last round. We have 1 more semester to pay for that last 2 schools, and then at that point, then all the program will be free of cost from with the ROE.
Okay, and then just to clarify, the requirement of this agreement is that we advocate for West 40 to receive evidence-based funding?
So West 40 is the online version of the ALAP program. It is an option that we have that we would pay per head, but it is through a consortium through the ROE and West 40.
That didn't answer the question. I'm just saying on page 13, page 20, appendix 1, we are, as part of this agreement, we are to provide them with advocacy for evidence-based funding.
I don't know that I can answer that question offhand.
Okay. I was just
It is
looking at
a
the
per head
document.
cost that we would pay to the ROE for a service that is provided through the West 40 cert.
Right,
So
and West 40 needs to be guaranteed between 28 and 30 students. That's in there as well, right?
for the entire program, correct?
Right, and
Yes.
if we fall short, then we're paying roughly 7,000 per student,
No,
correct?
we pay per head, per student.
Per head.
Yes,
Only
correct.
if we use it.
But-
Only if we use it.
Right, but there is a minimum requirement to provide 28 students, if I read that correctly in there.
No.
We don't have to provide 20
We don't have to
students. We don't
provide.
have to provide any students.
Well, I'm just looking through the agreement, and there is, a minimum requirement on page 17, section 3, that states that if we utilize that service, that there is a minimum associated with that service. It doesn't state that, it's à la carte per student. It's you guarantee a minimum, and if you are not meeting that minimum, you have to make up the difference in a per count. At least that's the way I'm reading the agreement. I can only go off of
I
what-
understand. My conversations with ROE through the Student Services Directing Program is that it is per head for that program. It is offered through West 40. There was no discussion of any minimal, but I do understand what your inquiry is, but I can certainly investigate further for you.
I have a lot of concerns. I mean, we're paying fees to the regional office of education to administer for the advocate, which doesn't make sense to me because they're already funded, so they should be able to take care of their administrative fees without us. West 40 has control of the staff, yet we have a contingency for unemployment. So if West 40 terminates the advocate, we may be on the hook for the unemployment with that. Well, I'm trying to understand the contingency because in this agreement, we don't have control of discipline or termination. It's under West 40, but yet we would be obligated for the unemployment costs according to the agreement. So for those reasons, I'm not in favor of the agreement. I also don't favor advocating for other organizations, even if they're an arm of the Regional Office of Education, for evidence-based funding, because evidence-based funding is our only source of state funding. So every dollar that is given to West 40 is a dollar that we won't see, and then that's a dollar that local taxpayers have to make up. So the way this agreement's structured, I'm not in favor of it.
Mr. President, I don't understand the claim about evidence-based funding looking at the sentence in question. That isn't the way I would read it at all. It seems to be simply a provision of records, which would make sense to me. If a district wants to make a claim for evidence-based funding, and they request records of students that they are educating on our behalf, I don't see why we would stonewall that request in order to thwart their request for their own evidence-based funding. So regardless, neither of us are attorneys, so I don't think it's productive to sit here and argue as if we have qualifications that we do not. I don't have the same issues with the agreement that have been brought up thus far. I am actually very glad to know that there are placements that our district has priority for, simply because I work in another district with students who are typically eligible for these sorts of placements. I know how difficult it is to find these kind of high-quality placements they're precious opportunities. So I'm glad to know that these options exist for our district and our students, those who may be in need of them at various times.
Dr. Small, can you remind us, we are currently utilizing these services, correct, or have?
Last year, we agreed to have the potential to use them. I had asked Mr. Hildebrand, since 2016, he can think of 3 to 4 times we've ever used these services, with the exception of our ALOP student advocates that are in our schools who help us with our students and connecting with our families who have attendance, behavior, or academic issues. And we've had that now for
The ALOP is for, now this is the going into the 3rd year of our partnership with North Cook on the ALOP, yes. The North Cook program, we do not leverage to much extent at this juncture because we have pretty robust options internally with serving our students.
And if I can just add, I've seen our advocates in our schools, and I've seen them interact with our student services teams, and I can tell you they are such a huge help to our student services team, to our students, to be able to connect with the person and say, can you please individually go up to this kid and check on them and make sure they're okay? It's just an invaluable resource that we have at our hands. So I'm a huge advocate for the type of services that we're grieving for, and I think it's awesome that we have them in place.
And I also know since I've been on the board in 2017, I recall discussions and approvals to utilize their services for some of our students. And I think it's a great alternative to the alternative of not having these services available for our students. I think it's very worthwhile, and the fact that they're in the wings, ready, should we need them, with the exception of the in-school advocates, which I think are wonderful as well. And you know, we've seen in the writings the benefit of having those advocates to keep the student in their school environment with their friends, and helping them progress to graduation in a comfortable environment versus removing them and putting them in an unfamiliar one, which in some cases can further traumatize them. So I think it's very worthwhile. And the fact that we've had this relationship for some time, it's not new to us, and we know how it works and they know how we work. I think it's a very, very good program for us to take advantage of. Any other comments? All right, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Van Dyke.
Aye.
Ms. Cabell.
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski.
No.
Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
Ms. Barron.
Aye.
Ms. Russell.
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum.
Aye, the motion carries. Next on the agenda is the FY 2026-2027 Student Building Construction Program budget. There are 2 motions. We will take one at a time. The first is that the Board of Education approve construction of a student-built home during the 2025-2026 and 2026-2027 school years on a district-owned lot on Louise Lane in Palatine. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Small?
Our students enrolled in our building construction program receive both instructional and hands-on opportunities while constructing homes. That will eventually be available for sale to the public. Next year, with the board's approval, we will begin construction on the second Palatine home, which is located on Louise Lane. The budget for the construction, as well as the ability to construct the home, is on the agenda tonight.
Thank you. Any other comments on this particular motion?
I love this program.
I personally know a couple of students that participated in these programs, and it was truly a highlight of their high school career. So I think it's fantastic, learning hands-on skills.
And I'll also mention, as we've discussed here at the board table before, you know, we have a classroom home that our students have been taking advantage of on the Nitty property in Schaumburg. And 2 lots away from that is a home. And if you didn't get a chance to see it during the open house, it is absolutely gorgeous. And we still have another lot over there in between those 2 buildings for use going forward and taking advantage of that. So like was mentioned, just the hands-on experience that these students are getting, the relationships that they're building with the instructors and the organizations that are overseeing this is incredible when it comes to career readiness, which is one of our strategic plan items that really this helps with. So it's a great educational opportunity. All right, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Aye, the motion passes. The second motion on this area is that the budget for construction costs, consulting, and contingency fees for the student-built home located on Louise Lane in Palatine be set in the amount of $848,000 and be spread over the 2025, 2026, and 2026, 2027 fiscal year budgets. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Aye. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is Health and Dental Program Claims Administration Fee. The recommended action is that the Board of Education retain Blue Cross and Blue Shield to provide claims administration services for medical, prescription drugs, dental, and utilization review, and further to purchase 125% aggregate stop-loss insurance and specific stop-loss insurance from Blue Cross Blue Shield at a level of $350,000 for PPO plans and $150,000 for HMO plans as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Small?
District 211 currently provides employees and eligible retirees with health and dental benefits through a self-insured program. The district's multi-plan claims are paid from district funds in addition to monthly administrative fees paid to Blue Cross Blue Shield. Individual stop-loss insurance pays for individual claims that exceed the established threshold. Tonight's action includes administrative services provided by Blue Cross Blue Shield, as well as the stop-loss insurance coverage.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Aye, the motion carries. Next on the agenda is renewal of employee assistance program. Recommended action is that the Board of Education approve the continuation of the employee assistance program services to be provided by Workplace Solutions from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 at a monthly cost of $1.54 per employee, and authorize the board president to sign the contract with Workplace Solutions for these services. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Small?
The district's employee assistance program provides clinical referral services and assistance with challenges common to our employees that may impact their attendance and effectiveness, such as caring for older parents, child care services, legal and financial consultation. It is an effective way for our district to confidentially connect our employees with outside assistance when needed. The renewal is presented to the board this evening.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or concerns? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum?
Aye, the motion carries. Next on the agenda is potential topics for future discussion. Are there any topics for future discussion from any board members at this time?
I do have, if I may.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Van Dyke.
Yes, thank you.
as we're in the budget season now, looking at our committees, I've looked at the history and I understand that we used to have a finance committee that met, and my understanding is that was disbanded several years ago. I'd like to bring forward at a future meeting some discussion on what that committee looked like, the past financial committee looked like, in addition to what a policy committee had looked like in the past in 2011. Current board members, the four that were not just reelected, I'd like to hear what their experience with those committees were. Then I'd like to include in the discussion a possibility of bringing forth new committees that would benefit all stakeholders as far as bringing together the public so they can have some input. Staff members, teachers. Again, I'm not super familiar with who were involved with those committees in the past, and that's the interest that I would like to be brought forward for a future board discussion.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to have discussion on bringing forth a new finance and policy committee.
Thank you, Mr. Van Dyke. So point of order, it wouldn't be a motion, but it would be a request to have that as an item for future discussion. And the way this would work is we can have, this is not the time for discussion of these items, okay? But rather taking Mr. Van Dyke's recommendation and request, it goes to the board to determine whether or not you as individual board members would like to include, as per Mr. Van Dyke's request, a discussion at a future board meeting to discuss reinstating two committees for sure, and that's a finance committee and a policy committee, and perhaps also discussing additional committees of interest. Also keep in mind that we have a new superintendent beginning with us on July 1st, and there are committees that fall under her purview called superintendent committees, of which we do have some in the past, but they haven't come up yet for liaisons because that's going to be for discussion with the new superintendent. And those include, some of them have been the Wellness Committee, the Parent Connection Committee, and we had the Building and Facilities and Safety, just to name a few. So, so I'm going to ask each board member if they are in favor of having this as an item for future discussion, and we will look at the agenda for the upcoming meetings and look at having it on one of those agendas to have that discussion.
Board President, before you take a informal roll call, I just want to speak to, I would like to give the new superintendent the opportunity to look at not just the superintendent committees, but all of the committee structure and have an input on how those might be structured going forward, you know, in terms of her new leadership and her cabinet. So I would tentatively agree, because the assumption was this was already going to happen anyway. I'm not comfortable with agreeing for the July meeting necessarily. I think that's too short of a runway. So if that makes sense, it would be, yes, I agree, absolutely. To me, the issue was one more of timeline about what Dr. Campbell, to give Dr. Campbell enough time that we can get a consensus view and informed opinion.
Completely agree. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. So seeing as the board president and the superintendent are the ones who are responsible for developing and putting in place the agenda, If this board is in consensus that these should be discussed at a future board meeting, the plan would be to identify the most appropriate timeline, which would not, it's already in my mind as well, that the July meeting will be an introductory meeting for the new superintendent. And there's already some things that are coming into play in the July agenda, but perhaps in the August or September, depending on what the agendas look like. One of the reasons is I want to make sure that if we're going to be having that discussion, that there's ample time, right? That it's not a jam-packed agenda and we're trying to squeeze a conversation around this important item on there.
I completely agree. I'm not looking for it next week if we call a special board meeting.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity. Right.
And also keep in mind when you're saying whether or not you're in favor of this, it's around having that discussion, right? That's what you're saying, yeah, we can have that discussion kind of thing, or no, I don't think this is something that's up for discussion, right? And we should be talking about. So I'd like to ask each board member if you're in favor of having this on a future agenda for discussion. Mr. Van Dyke, I have a feeling I know your response, but I will ask you.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yes,
Mrs. Lopez?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Dombrowski?
This should be on the July meeting. Our board policies govern the administration. I would also like that as part of the policy discussion that we get copies of the last two press publications from the Illinois Illinois Association of School Boards that are out there to compare changes in legislation to our policies.
Thank you. So are you in consensus to have this as an item for future discussion?
July, yes.
Mrs.
Yes.
Russell? And I am also in favor of having it on an agenda item for future discussion, so we will have that. Thank you. Are there any other recommendations for items for future discussion? Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is committee reports. The first is Northwest Suburban Special Education Organization report. There are two items already in the agenda. One is my committee report, and the second is what they call the SIP report, which really is a year-end review. And SIP stands for Continuous Improvement Plan. So it's reviewing what has happened, and some items on there. It's a slide presentation that was delivered at the last board meeting, the last NSSEO board meeting, are things that are in plan for their strategic plan and action for coming up. I want to mention a couple other things that went on in the board meeting. They have a program called Shooting Star and Rising Star. And those are student recognition programs. One is for current students, and one is for graduated students, or students that are no longer in their program. We recognized a student at our last board meeting, which was on the 4th, that has completed the program. The student attended Timber Ridge, which is the elementary school. So NSSEO has 3 main schools. One is an elementary school, one is a junior high, and one is a high school. And when we send students to NSSEO at the high school level, that school is called Kirk. Okay? They have a student who started at Timber Ridge, and he was there until 6th grade. One of the goals of NSSEO is to have students get the care around their special needs so that they can either transition back to their base school district and or that they can complete the program and graduate into society, shall we say, okay? This student went to Timber Ridge until 6th grade. Oh, one other thing is we are one of 8 member districts, and I serve on their board representing our district. And there's 2 high school districts, ours and 214, but they also, like was asked of that third-party service that we approved to have an agreement with, they also do service non-member districts We pay tuition for each of the students that we send there. Non-member districts pay more. There's a tuition plus an additional.
Excuse me, Mr. Rosenblum, will you be presenting every NSSE report with the same information? We've been a member for several decades, and I think most of the community understands the NSSEO structure.
I appreciate your comments, Mr. Dombrowski, but I disagree. So, so with that, we have a shooting star who was recognized at the meeting, who went there till 6th grade. At the end of 6th grade, he transitioned back to his base school district for junior high, and then he's a non-member district. So he went to Buffalo Grove High School, where he took AP classes and got mostly A's and B's. The most exciting part, and why he was recognized as a shooting star, was because unfortunately he was unable to attend our meeting because he was signing up for classes at U of I. So he was accepted into U of I, and a very proud moment for the staff and the people associated to the organization. We also elected our board officers, and I believe you all have received information as to who those are. And because we passed the budget here in this boardroom, approving their budget, we passed it as an NSSEO board as well, and you all have information about some of the other things. So that is my report. Next on the agenda is Ed Red, legislative report, and I will turn it over to Ms. Russell.
Thank you. So this was my first meeting that I attended for Education, Research, and Development. The meeting was on June 6th, so thank you for allowing me to hand in my short notes. Rather late. I promise I will be better next time. There were over 900 tracked bills. The bulk of the meeting was a discussion of the 50 that were on the governor's desk. I included that link in the report, and there are no meetings during the summer. They have some events. So we follow the legislature, and we'll begin again to have meetings in September. I think that's it for Ed Red.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is District 211 Foundation Report. Ms. Cavill?
Thank you. In the future, I will be submitting written reports. That wasn't possible since the meeting occurred at 7 a.m. this morning, right, Dr. Small? The foundation did the following. We reviewed a new mission statement that everybody was very enthusiastic about. We had an overview of the financials, including awarded money, as well as year-over-year growth in applications and awards. I'm going to make sure that that is given to board members and attached to the agenda in July, because I thought that was very interesting. So we did go over the financials. There's a lot of excitement for the new superintendent, and most importantly, they are very actively seeking additional members to that committee. And they're seeking members who are keen to accelerate the foundation's fundraising and growth. So if there are community members watching who would like to get involved, this is one committee that is ready and willing to have those who want to roll up their sleeves and get involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Illinois Association of School Boards report. Ms. Russell?
Thank you. So I wanted to include some of the things that things that are being offered through either IASB or through the group that meets together, the joint annual conference. So for new members, and I'm assuming everybody, IASB has reached out to all of our new members, but they do have a Super Saturday for new members that you can connect with peers. I often find that connecting with peers is one of the most helpful things in learning about a new position. And I just wanted to bring that up. As far as the joint annual conference that's in November, the 21st through the 23rd, I did ask to sign up for workshops One was for new members, and I included, let's see, about targeted training for school board members. And those are on Friday. I would encourage anyone to sign up for those because, again, it's professional development, and I firmly believe in professional development for us. And finally, as the delegate to the assembly for the Illinois Association of School Boards, there are resolutions that the district can put in. There's 2 weeks left. I don't know how that process has run in the past, but if there are resolutions or ideas for resolutions, that's important. I assume that we have a process that once a resolution might be considered to be presented, that we would have to approve it first. Is that correct? Okay. And it would have to be at a board meeting prior. So that means we will, since they are due on the 25th, we will not be involved this time. But, so thank you for clarifying that. But resolutions then that are adopted by the assembly then are going to lead to proposed legislation from the group. So that's why these are important. So I'll stay abreast of it for next time so that we have a better understanding of the timeline. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. So my thought is at a future meeting, you will be bringing forth resolutions that are going to be at the delegate assembly?
That is
for us
correct.
Cool, thank you. Next on the agenda is upcoming events. You can see what those are. Our next board meeting is July 17th. And yes,
this is announcements, right?
it's upcoming events and calendar items.
Yeah, but the heading is announcements, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Small for her service to
You
our community and students. This is our final board meeting with Dr. Small, so I'd like to thank you for everything you've done for the district, and I wish you well.
And with that, before we continue on to closed session, I have a few words as well. So thank you for queuing that up for me, Mr. Van Dyke. No problem. So before we go to closed session, followed by adjournment, I would like to take a few minutes to offer words of appreciation and gratitude to an exceptional leader and educator, our retiring superintendent, Dr. Lisa Small, at the conclusion of this, her last Township High School District 211 Board of Education meeting. Dr. Small's legacy has been one of deep commitment, thoughtful leadership, and enduring impact. Her journey with District 211 began over 3 decades ago when she joined our district from Stevenson High School in Lincolnshire. Driven by her lifelong desire to teach, a calling she discovered in high school, Dr. Small became a science and mathematics teacher at Hoffman Estates High School. She graduated from several universities on her way to becoming a district administrator, including The Ohio State University, OH, Northern Illinois University, National Louis University, and ultimately completing her doctorate of education in curriculum and instruction from Loyola University, Chicago. Throughout her career, Dr. Small remained a passionate educator at heart. As a teacher, she delighted in developing innovative, student-centered curriculum. She also coached girls volleyball for a decade. Not to mention, she played volleyball in college as well. Dr. Small's leadership journey brought her through various leadership positions, including assistant principal, activities director, director of instructional improvement, principal, and associate superintendent for instruction before being selected by the District 211 Board of Education in 2019 to succeed Dr. Dan Cates to become the 8th superintendent in our district's history. Over the course of her career, Dr. Small has left an indelible mark on District 211. She championed academic innovation, increased access to advanced placement and dual credit coursework, expanded our career pathways programs, and helped launch our district-wide student readiness plan and wellness initiatives. She constantly urged students to ask themselves why. why they are taking a course, why they are choosing a path, and how does it align with their goals and passions. She empowered students not just to prepare for the next step, but to make thoughtful, intentional choices along the way. Dr. Small has been a leader who listens. She always made it a point to visit all of our schools, connecting with students and staff to understand their perspectives on everything from mental health to college planning to technology in the classroom. Her leadership has always been collaborative, grounded, and deeply human. Lisa and her husband Bob live on a small farm where they care for several animals. I hope I get them all right this time, including hogs, chickens, turkeys, horses, alpacas, llamas, and even bees. That balance between high-impact leadership and down-to-earth living is part of what has made her so respected and relatable to so many across our district and community. And working on the farm is what she has in her sights for retirement. Lisa, I want to thank you for your years of tireless service, your vision, and your heart. You have helped shape the futures of thousands of students. As you've often reminded us, that's not just a number, it's a responsibility. And you have fulfilled it with grace, purpose, and excellence. Thank you for your support and your unwavering dedication to our students, staff, and community. You will always be part of the District 211 family. On behalf of the entire Board of Education, as you graduate from Township High School District 211, it is my pleasure to congratulate you on your well-earned retirement and thank you for the legacy you leave behind. Okay. Whew. Next on our agenda is closed session. The recommended action is that the board enter closed session to discuss minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the Open Meetings Act and appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. Are there any comments or questions? May I have a roll call, please? Oh, may I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barron?
No.
Ms. Cabell?
No.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Nay.
Mrs. Lopez?
No.
Ms. Russell?
No.
Mr. Van Dyke?
No.
Mr. Rosenbaum?
No. Therefore, the board will not be going back into closed session, but we will continue with the closed session items, which I need to get to. Okay. Okay, so the first motion is retirement requests. And the motion is that the Board of Education, in accordance with the master contract of the District 211 Teachers Union, accepts the following retirement requests. Antoinette Dadimo-Deca, effective May 2029. Renee Drury, effective May 2029. Danielle Garcia, effective May 2029. Robert Kuchenberg, effective December 2029. Stephen Coopers, effective May 2029. Mary Lopez, effective May 2029. Ronald Micheletto, effective December 2029. Jennifer Cerna, effective May 2029. And Kathy Ann Smith, effective December 2029. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Aye.
Ms. Cabell?
Aye.
Ms. Barron?
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum.
Aye. And the next agenda item is that the Board of Education approve the written decision as discussed in closed session and direct the board president to convey the same to complainant regarding board policy GACJAKAA, Uniform Grievance Policy Investigator Report. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or discussion? May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Van Dyke.
Aye.
Ms. Barron.
Aye.
Ms. Russell.
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
Ms. Cavill.
Aye.
Mr. Dombrowski.
Aye.
Mr. Rosenblum.
Aye. Both closed session items pass. Having no additional items on our agenda, the board president declares the meeting of the Board of Education